What's up, guys? And today we got another fishing report for you. We got Adam and Chase with us.
And you're Brock. Don't leave yourself out.
Yeah.
All right. So it is now late June. We got a lot of fishing going on here. Chase, tell us about the weather.
So the weather has really calmed down, so a lot of people have gone swimming, and there's been a lot of boats out.
So many boats out. Brock, you and I are both fishing on Sunday, Father's Day. Beautiful weather.
There was a lot of boats.
There was a lot of boats. I mean, it wasn't Minnetonka, but there was a lot of boats on the lake. Yeah, I mean, for boats, I was stunned by the number of boats I saw on Sunday. Do you think it's because the weather had been so bad for 2 weeks that everyone just felt cooped up and we finally had a beautiful weekend?
Well, that probably helps. Plus, just Father's Day in general. There's
Holiday. Dads
you
want to
don't
go
see that
fishing.
on Mother's Day as much, but
You know, it's funny because Mother's Day, moms fish free. But I think it's a little early, a little cold, so we don't see the traffic. But Father's Day, my goodness, there were boats everywhere. So, but yeah, weather-wise, the lake is glorious right now. We've had very mild conditions the last 3 days. Temps in the low 70s, very light winds. And of course, the fishing.
What about
So-
the sponsors?
Okay, before we get into fishing, let's make sure we mention our sponsors. Okay, want to make sure we get our sponsors covered here. Chase likes to mention sponsors because we do get a little bit of money from the sponsors, so thank you to them. They officially sponsor these videos, and we're saving up for a fishing trip. Right, Chase?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got to make sure we talk about our sponsors here. Aspen Resort and Campground on the north side of the lake, Island View Lodge and Resort on the east side of the lake, and Birch Forest Lodge on the south side, and more about our sponsors at the end of the video. So let's get into fishing. All right, Chase, last week on our video,
There's a lot of bass.
there was a lot of bass. Okay, we talked a lot about bass fishing and not much else.
but this week is a little different because we've had a lot more bluegills and everything else.
So tell me, do you think that's because the fishing was that much better, or did we just get more pictures of other things?
Well, I would say it's a little bit of both. You have better weather for bluegills, obviously, sun and dry and nice wind. No wind helps, and it's easier to fish for them. Bobbers in whitecaps doesn't work ever, obviously. So there's more fishing for them. So I think last week probably would have been good, but weather was.
I also feel like, though, some of our viewers were saying, hey, Adam, Chase, Brock, we're catching sunfish, so we definitely had more photos sent in. But let's talk about the sunfish fishing. So bluegill fishing right now, it's really good. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of bluegills being brought in and being cleaned. I'm seeing a lot of bluegills being released. We got some photos here. Some beautiful bluegills being caught. Pelican Lake is known as a bluegill lake. Not probably what it was historically, but it's a good fishery for bluegills. So the sun is shining, fishing's good. Anywhere you've got a little bit of structure or heavy weed bed right now, they're catching bluegills. How are they catching them? You guys know? Anyone shared their secret? Slip bobbers. Okay, slip bobbers is probably
Night crawlers and leeches.
night crawlers and leeches. Wax worms. Wax worms are pretty effective right now.
Worms are always effective for bluegill.
I think you gotta be a little louder. They're not gonna hear that. Try that again. Tell them your secret.
Wax worms are always pretty good for bluegill.
Wax worms work pretty good for bluegills. So Chase likes to fish for bluegills off the docks. Wax worms work good. Also, little teeny twister tails, hair jigs, they're going pretty good. So
What most people are doing is they're finding a shallower, sunny area with some weeds, lines, and stuff, and they're pitching it out there. And one guy was telling me that he was trying to send a text, and every single time it took him like an hour and a half to get out one message because he was just picking up his rod every 5 seconds.
I think it's time to put the phone down and just fish. Okay, so beetle spins also. So thank you for everybody who shared photos of their bluegills. Keep them coming, guys. If you have pictures you want to send in here, email them to us. So our email, if you want to send pictures to us, is pelicanlakeyt@gmail.com. So it's Pelican Lake YouTube or pelicanlakeyt@gmail.com, and we'll get your photos. We'll include them in the fishing report. How about you, Brock? You catch any bluegills this week?
Caught a couple.
Oh, you
but
did? I thought you were
haven't-
going to say no. I totally thought you were going to say
Well,
no.
I mean, we went walleye fishing and caught them, and then you catch them while bass fishing sometimes.
Okay. I guess I thought Brock was going to say
I've
no.
probably caught like 10
I was
on
bass
accident.
fishing. So Brock has done quite a bit of bass fishing lately. He's been guiding some this summer and had pretty good success there. So I do believe that Brock has the big bass of the week right now. How big was that guy?
19 and a half, but it was like really fast. So maybe
You weighed it. You had a scale with you.
yeah, it was like 5.4, I think.
5.4. That's almost 5.5.
Yeah.
Look at this fish, though. Okay, this thing's a tank. How long did it take you to bring that guy in? Pretty good fight.
Yeah. It tried to wrap itself in the motor.
It tried to wrap itself in the motor. All right. So what were you throwing when you got that big bass?
So I was throwing watermelon and purple, the best combination all summer long. Because everyone does watermelon red, and watermelon and purple is better.
Okay, you're throwing a 5-inch Senko, watermelon with purple. This is a go-to Senko that we use, the 5-inch. Watermelon red works pretty well. Watermelon purple, it's a good one. So Brock himself landed a 5-pounder. A lot of good bass though coming in right now. So we got quite a few photos. I believe you have some pictures of when you're guiding Eric the other day. He caught some nice bass. I was also out guiding this weekend a bit. So I got a picture of John with a nice bass. Bass fishing has been pretty good. I don't want to make it sound like I didn't catch any big bass. Here's the one that I got this weekend. Personally, I was throwing root beer. So we have root beer. Again, 5-inch Senkos. So some people call this smoke, but no, it's root beer. It's got different flakes in it. But the Senko, I was Texas rigging. Were you Texas rigging or wacky rigging, Brock?
I was wacky rigging, but basically what I've found to work the best is you start with one color, you wacky rig or Texas rig, and then you switch, and then if you don't catch anything in the next 10 minutes, then you switch entirely what you're doing, and you go to a different color, and you just go through them until you start catching them consistently.
Okay, but usually they're going to be relatively natural colors. So, Chase, do you prefer wacky rigging or Texas rigging when you fish?
Wacky.
Chase likes to wacky rig. Okay, I prefer Texas rigging a little bit. Especially right now, the weeds are starting to come in the lake. So that's wonderful news for us. The fish like that. When I was out fishing this week, we were finding them on rocky outcrops with a weed line next to it. So that was where we were doing best. I did try a few points. It was okay. I tried a few shorelines. It was okay, but a little bit deeper water, like 6 or 7 feet with a rock pile with a weed line for me. Did you notice anything for depths with you, Brock, when you're fishing?
Well, I would say definitely rocky areas where the rocks are at least at the bottom, because like sand was just like lily pad areas weren't working too good, but I've heard some people have had it. But
I've heard the top water is just getting started.
But like soon it will be better.
So I think the reason why the top water is not quite fully on is our water temperatures. So about 2 weeks ago, our water hit 73 degrees.
Only on the surface though.
Well, yeah, but so the water was quite a bit colder below, and then we had all these storms come through, and it just churned that water up and mixed it and blended the temperature more, and we plummeted down to 63, but it was a much more solid 63 going down. Okay, so everything started warming up, and we're back up to 68-degree water temperature again. So that water's coming up. I'm seeing frogs out there now, and I'm hearing stories of topwater. I've heard that bone is a good color for topwater, the bone spook. I've heard that scum frogs are starting to work on the edge of pads. And of course, our favorite. Chase, do you know our favorite topwater lure?
No.
All right. Well, here's
Beelspin?
Beelspin's not a topwater, but hey, let me tell you, Chase. You know, coming up this summer, you're gonna have to learn how to throw this, but it's the Whopper Plopper.
Oh.
The Whopper Plopper. It started being very good. Okay, so bass fishing. We've shown you some photos. We've told you some tips on that. It's not the only thing biting. Pike.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Still.
Chase and I had a guy tell us a story this morning about they kept on pike were biting right through their lines. Okay, especially if you're using mono, that's a tough one to do. But there's a lot of pike out there. So I got some pictures of some guys catching pike. Some kids. I was guiding these two kids, Rocky and Grayson, this weekend with their dads. They caught some pike. So good times out there. And walleye. Is it dead?
Not dead.
Not dead.
Not great either.
Not great. Slow down. But we have some walleyes to show. Young lady here is one that she brought in. And of course we have Mia with this one right here. This is a 26-incher. Pretty nice sized walleye. Okay, she got this Friday, I think it was. Sent the photo in. She's from Colorado. Came up here to fish with her grandpa. Caught this. So there are some walleye being caught, but they are not, it's not the fish I'd be going after right now. I think it's tough out there. So the fishing overall is pretty good right now. If you haven't had a chance to get up here to Pelican Lake, try some fishing. The bass fishing is going to continue to get better. The bluegill fishing is going to continue to get better as it continues to warm up and calm down. We did have some crappies caught. Sorry, I'm jumping past that already. So I think I've got one picture of Drew with a crappie here. Some crappies still coming in, but bass fishing overall is the best. Okay, if you haven't already come up here, you should think about doing that. There are 3 great resorts here on Pelican Lake that are sponsoring these fishing reports. So again, we've got Island View Resort over on the east side. We've got Aspen Resort and Campground on the north side, and Birch Forest Lodge on the south side. Our featured sponsor today of the video is Birch Forest Lodge. They've got a dozen cabins on the south shore of Pelican Lake. They have a small lodge with a gift shop, a tackle section. They've got a pretty decent marina with several, I would say, above average fishing boats for rentals, pontoons. They'll take really good care of you. So, getting a good resort chosen is not just about cabins, it's about the overall experience. And there are 3 excellent choices. I want to thank them for sponsoring these videos. So if you haven't already, think about getting a vacation up here to Pelican Lake. And until next time, good luck out there wherever you're fishing, tight lines, and hope to see you on the lake.